we live in a country which obviously has seen really good growth now. It's been 70 years. But unfortunately, we also have been invaded, and we also have a very bitter history because of which we have persistent violence and conflict. A country which has poverty, which ranks really low in the indices of happiness, peace, hunger, and several other things, because we are a developing nation and there is so much happening. India is growing, but what about the countries around us? Where will they go? And now, while I started that obviously we will have more conflict, more issues because of poverty, because of conflict. We have climate change.
So tell me something interesting. So I'm just, so many questions are coming in mind. How do you do that? What is the first step? How do you meet the people who make the change? How do you meet the countries and bring them into this conversation?
Clarify today is that is not my audience, and I'm really not looking for 1 million followers. And it doesn't make a difference to my work. So whether I have it or I don't have it, it doesn't matter. What matters is if I could just get the 8 heads of state to listen to that, right? Yeah, and
that's all you need.
That's all you need. So I think I need 8 followers and that's it.
How do you meet the countries and bring them into this conversation? Do you write to them? Do you bring them into a conference?
I think I feel that for any country, any region, the most important leadership is the head of state, right? So, and he's a human being also, ultimately. We only chose him. Who gave him the power to be the prime minister or president? Apart from his own party, who gave him the platform, it is the people, right? The people who vote for that. And then you vote for a particular leader and you say, I'm voting for you and you're going to give me safety, security, money, wealth, opportunities, equality, etc., right? So what is the issue in writing to that person? So I feel that I reach out to heads of states directly, and I don't think I need a broker in between. And when
you write letters to them?
We write letters to them, we send white papers to them, we sign proposals to them, and I'm very sure that they have a very efficient mechanism through which they are reading, they are internalizing, and they are having some internal meetings to drive some policy or change ultimately. It is great if they make us inclusive and they make us a part of it, because we are very passionate about it, right? But even if they don't, right? Even if they don't and they do it in isolation, we're still there to help them. Because we'll continue to do this work. We are not doing this work because we want you to adopt us, right? We are pretty, I will say, pretty efficient. That's why we've been able to think differently. That's why we've been able to put these plans on paper. Whenever you want something, you create a blueprint of it, right? So if you go on the website of Phuro Innovations, everyone else probably, like you keep talking about RAAHEIN also, is that everyone has a presentation. We have prototypes. The prototypes are ready. They can be adopted by the governments. And those prototypes are something that we keep presenting in, whether that is flowchart, whether that is Venn diagram of peace, whether that is a white paper, whether that is a published article or content on my reels and things like that.
How do you go about bringing all these countries together, South Asian countries together?
In 2022, when India-Sri Lanka had really tough external, it was in the papers. And on World Peace Day, I do this annual event, and we said we're going to bring the delegation from Sri Lanka. We must do enough in this country to generate awareness to help our neighbor, irrespective of our political differences. But Arindam Bagchi, who is the minister, I think the spokesperson at Ministry of External Affairs, had obviously had the right reasons to go out and give an interview in the press, and that became the headline of the Times of India. And a lot of people dropped, a lot of ambassadors dropped, a lot of other leaders dropped, and I got calls that I must not do this event. And I was like, why is that? They said, because we do not have right now right relations. I said, those are political relations, but I'm talking about citizen relationships. There are also other people who need us. So it is not about you're going against your country. Definitely not. If there is a mandate from the government, we will follow that. But I also feel that if there is, he's just doing his job. He's the spokesperson and he's doing his job. And I need to do my job. And you need to do your job, and somebody else needs to do their job in order for us to continue the life. Right?
And
in order for us to continue the communication. In order for us to not just like become enemies overnight, just because somebody said something which became the headline. Do not let the destiny be driven by one person, no matter how powerful that person is. Unless and until it is coming from a government mandate, there's no government mandate. These are regular things. They keep happening. Today you're friends, tomorrow you'll have. Don't you have that at home? Don't you have that within your organization, corporations? I think there's no corporation which doesn't have system in place. They have HR, they have public relations, they have guest relations, they have customer, they have people who respond to crisis. So similarly, I think I feel that I'm that responsible citizen, and this is my citizens' platform that is responding in the crisis to keep the morale, to keep the hope, to keep the positivity. When everything is good, they don't need me, no? They need me when something is not right, and we still want to keep people going. People were like losing hope. In Sri Lanka, the youth was losing hope. They would have committed suicide, and who was really bothered for those lives? They will commit suicide. And my country is bankrupt. It's burning. My neighborhood is not talking to me. What is my future? I don't want to live this life. We don't have the right to take somebody's life, right? And that's what that is what is creating balance.
Yeah.
In this region, I feel there are so many lives. Just because I think we are in billions, we don't value each other, honestly speaking. And we have demographic dividend. I feel this is the time when a lot of young people will enter the workforce. A lot of women, if you see demographic dividend, it comes after several centuries in a territory, in a demography. So, and that is the time that is your time. Nobody can stop you because you have better workforce than anybody else in the world. So we need to keep them happy and healthy. And what if we open that? Imagine, why were we rich? Because of spice route. The world knows it.
Yeah.
Why were we rich? Look at the culture. I mean, you are in art and culture and music. You know that the similarities we have in South Asia. You know the beauty we have in South Asia. All of that can be promoted and sold to the world. Right now they are selling me, I with due respect, but I am being sold the Eiffel Tower. Right? I've been sold the 7 upholsters. Great. I have better things than that in this country. I don't know how to promote it. I have music, you have craft. Has it become global? Long way to go. Has it become global? Is globalization only one way that you keep getting the brands, but you don't? How many brands are in abroad?
Yeah.
How many Indian brands have made it except in the Taj or the Oberoi, or a couple of others who probably have a shop in the international market, who probably are known in the international market, who sell.
Yeah.
But look at everything is sold to us. It's because there's no innovation taking place.
So how does your content now reach the millions? Like I'm assuming this is not a product that you're selling. So million fans are not coming in. So just searching for you.
Yes.
To it's not an anti-aging cream.
Correct.
It is something that they don't even think about. So how do you get that? Are you looking for followers? What are you looking
not at all. And that's exactly what I want to clarify today, is that is not my audience, and I'm really not looking for 1 million followers, and it doesn't make a difference to my work. So whether I have it or I don't have it, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I've realized that it's only the Prime Minister who has to understand, because he's whenever there is change, it happens on top, right? It happens on top. It's a top-down shift. And of course, there are a lot of other people who will contribute to that. So if they can relate with it, why not? And those could be business leaders, those could be spiritual leaders, those could be people who then can drive this change via different platforms. But yeah, for me, I don't think I need 1 million followers. I don't care. I can actually go faceless. Tomorrow if you had to say Phuro, I'm happy to have the Phuro logo and not Rachna Sharma.
So while we are talking about world peace, biggest problem that we have is making peace with the Mother Earth. So
ecological peace,
peace,
right? And today it takes priority over institutional and political peace for me, and that's why I deep dived into every report that is just lying dead in these big research homes, and I think they've spent millions and billions of dollars on that, and I'm not sure they have been read or internalized by the leaders. If they would have, then they would have been worried, as on fire as I am. So the Hindu Kush Himalayan region, the ICI MOD report, I started reading them back in 2022 again. I think my first short 2-minute appearance was at the Embassy of Myanmar, where I spoke about being a Himalayan woman and how Himalayan people, how the Himalayan glaciers were melting at unprecedented rates, and how we are like vulnerable to the floods. And we've seen last monsoon, you've seen changes. We're seeing changes in the world.
It was the hottest year last year.
That everyone is talking about it. Ranveer just did a show. The guy who does spirituality all the time, he's talking about climate change. So I feel all the younger generation is talking about it because they have to live. And they know that it is them and their next generation who's going to live on this planet. So they are more worried than probably the older generation, because I feel, I mean, it's a bitter truth, but they'll go.
I think,
and then we'll be left with this problem to deal with. So climate change, that is why we did, when I deep dived into every information, global information, latest information available, we realized that green hydrogen is the only savior amongst several other initiatives that we must take on time.
Make a treaty for fresh air across the country, starting with Delhi.
Yeah. And I feel that this is when this becomes a political agenda for the party, for Prime Minister Modi. I think he is a true humanitarian leader.
So have you written to him? Have you
Of
sent him the
course,
white
of
paper?
course. Yes, we have sent him. We have sent the entire plan to everything that I mentioned to you, to the finance minister of this country as well.
So is it fair to say that people who can create green hydrogen or really cultivate this new change are in place? So where is this whole stuck? Is the whole thing stuck? Is it the focus of the government on this accelerated change?
So everyone, communication. So because they feel there is no demand, they feel there is no infrastructure, koi aur karega to I will follow. That's it. Everything is in place. We just need to come together and do it.
And it has to be
I
starting
think
with
it's
policy.
the government who has to keep talking about it. When the government talks about change, I think it gets adopted faster, right? We as thought leaders can talk about it, but we don't have the resources. I don't have $20 billion
So if
to
tomorrow
make the change. I don't have a parliamentarian majority to create a policy. I'm not the CJ of this country, or something to do with the law that I can suggest a new law. So I can only probably that I'm doing, give these people enough information so that they can come together. And it is my dream that they should come together and work for this nation to build the new modern India.
And when you say they, meaning the people who can create the
lawmakers, the policy makers, and the businessmen who have the money with the help of the leadership of the country, which is the Prime Minister, current Prime Minister, who's coming back for the third term. And I will also request him via this podcast, is that you're coming the third term. We don't know if you will come the fourth term. Maybe you will. Maybe you will change the law. But let's say for a discussion's sake that you don't, then in that country right now, the entire country looks up to you. They say that Modi hai to sab kuch hai. For them, if you are the
Modi ki guarantee.
Modi ki guarantee. If that is true, Modi ka parivar, that is true, then put South Asia back on the path to recovery by doing these things on your last term.
As a peacemaker.
It is a very noble thing that you will do. And I think it will be talked. So many prime ministers have come and gone. I don't think they are remembered, but you will be definitely remembered for bringing change to climate change and its repercussions, and making Delhi as model city, making India and South Asia as a model country and model region. You will see the entire world will follow. That is a guarantee. That is Rachna Ki Guarantee.
So let's talk about where we live, Delhi. So how does the climate change, the ecological change, now what are you thinking about Delhi? Now how does that relate to the urgency?
We brainstormed and we started unveil Delhi, right?
Yeah.
And that is because air pollution is just one of the manifested problem of climate change, right? A lot of people say climate change is man-made or climate change is only environment. No, it could be also a combination of both, right? So, so our problem today in Delhi, first I'll talk about Delhi problem and then I'll talk about why I did it. So Delhi problem is, as per the study by IIT Kanpur, it's available that the contributors to the pollution are open waste burning. Subtle burning is only seasonal for 3 months, right? Regular, what is the problem is transportation, household consumption. What is household consumption? LPG, kerosene, coal, or cow dung in the rural areas, right? Electricity. So if that means I have to replace this. There was an article I wrote in 2019 that we don't know what to replace this with. So till the time, at that time I did not know green hydrogen was available, a solution was available. A gas is available that is similar in handling, in supply chain, in everything. That can replace LPG right away. While LPG creates emissions, green hydrogen doesn't. And that is almost 30% of your contributing to your Delhi air pollution. So I'm saying if we produce green hydrogen, we create Delhi as model city. And we create green hydrogen to replace this household consumption. And we buy completely renewable energy, which is solar or wind or hydro, renewable, for our household consumption, electricity. We are at least controlling that 30%. It's easy. We are not changing the supply system. A lot of resistance will not come. Right? Yeah. Then
just replacing the coal with green hydrogen.
Simple. Second thing is your, another 29-30% is your transportation. Transportation. How do I change private cars? It's not going to happen. Like you are not going to change your car tomorrow. I'm not going to change my car tomorrow. It's a slow change. It will take few years. What we can change immediately is railways. Because the railways, only engines need to be made. Right? It's mass transportation. Interstate. Create a green hydrogen friendly engine. It's not very big investment. Railways has posted profit. It's a profitable PSU. They can do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So railways, easy. Heavy road trucks. They said, can we electrify trucks? And this is something that I heard from obviously some leaders and during our conference that you can't electrify all the trucks because we don't have the grid supply. We need double the grid supply. We don't have that. Also, we don't have space. EVs take a lot more space. EV batteries and all of that. There is a comparison that I sent to the Prime Minister. Which talks about diesel, green hydrogen, and EV comparison. That doesn't mean that I am against the EV innovators. I love them. I think they solved half our problem till the time we are facing it. But I think that is a transitory, short-term solution.
More innovation is required.
Right? More innovation is required. And probably there could be a mix of both rather than just going completely green hydrogen. But I'm just saying that green hydrogen is much more sustainable. It's easy change in heavy duty transportation, in trucks. And eventually, when you see whenever there is change, what do you want to see? You want to see result. So you get your moral, more confidence goes up, right? As a person, as an industry, as a leader, whoever is taking the decision, when you sign the papers, you're shit scared. What if it doesn't work? It will work. It will show you result immediately. Delhi will not only become a city which will actually have reduced AQI, it will become a study in the world.
That people
it
can
will
follow.
Show the path to the world on how green hydrogen is usable. And the whole world can then have low carbon emissions. The whole world will talk about it. That is when the change will happen, because the supply and change happens when the conversation happens. Two people are convinced, okay, tomorrow if I have to do an investment, I'm happy to do an investment in green hydrogen in India, a green hydrogen in South Asia, because we have abundant renewables already. Sunshine here, not in Europe. Europe only cold. Understand this. So in this new energy era, I don't want to lose this opportunity. That's why. So that now you see green hydrogen, climate change, and Delhi. Now you see why I'm talking about Delhi air pollution is that it completely fits my purpose. If this gets solved, it is, I think, going to be a very big study for the entire. And then, of course, you have winter issues and you have subtle burning issues, and then you need a standing committee within the government. Make it a center's government mandate. Say, have a standing committee whose job is to ensure your open waste burning does not happen. It reaches the landfills, or it reaches all of the, and then there is a community engagement between the end user, whether that is these industries or whether that is a farmer. Create that easy path, because a farmer is not very highly educated. He doesn't know how to go to the factory, who to talk to, how to get his sell his things, how to get them to collect it. We need a just simple create a system in one city and replicate it. How tough is it? I don't see this as tough. I just see this as a problem of consensus. While we have differences, we should have consensus on things which are posing a threat to the citizen of this country, which are posing a threat to my children.
So if we are increasing our consumption, whether it's home or transportation, the air is getting toxic and toxic and toxic. And now we are saying that we will add more coal to the mix, not more solar or think about hydrogen.
So now you know now you know why we need more people like you to understand this.
Because it is
alarming. And then everybody should write letters to the government, not only Rachna Sharma. You understand now? Everyone should understand that if Delhi today, don't try to fix the planet, it's too big. Try to fix your city first, right? You live in a city which has given you a lot, your identity, your family, right? We love Delhi. We don't want to go anywhere else. But this Delhi is breathing
toxic air,
is dying. Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi, Parliament in Delhi, Prime Minister's office in Delhi. They are also breathing the same air. They die, we die, everybody dies. Whole system of the country dies. I'm just saying, it can happen. Listen. When something bad has to happen, it won't spare
anyone.
It won't spare religion. तुम हिंदू, मैं मुस्लिम, तुम प्राइम मिनिस्टर, मैं कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर. नहीं. तुम शिफाली, मैं रचना, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. Right? It will not spare anybody. Because if I have problem, then you will have the same problem. If the flood is coming, till last year it came till Gandhi Smriti tak aa gaya tha, right? It
in Ahmedabad.
Here in Delhi, in Delhi floods, it can come in Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Well, I heard
it gets picked up as a news also. We are talking about the capital of the country. We're not talking about some BC city.
Even Bombay, they're saying that will be underwater in 10-20 years.
10-20 years, everything will
but
be
we're not waking up to it. We citizens,
because
who are the vote bank.
20 years, we will buy rescue.
Yeah.
That's what we think. It's not possible, it's not happening.
Let's talk about it. We don't understand our own power. Like, all we're saying is, take our vote, but give our fresh air.
Yes.
But there is no...
I think there is
talk about
big, huge movement required. And the movement should be in everyone in Delhi at least to begin with, because one, it will solve the Delhi air pollution problem. Second, it will give us the opportunity to see the result of green hydrogen. That will build up morale to put more money, to raise more money, whether that is to have a green hydrogen bank, which my flow chart suggests to the government, because if we don't have a bank for a new fuel, how will that happen, right? So we need money allocation there, or we need let the private people then take initiative and give them the license to run the bank. Do that. You won't give the license, you won't open the bank, then how will it happen? So as citizens, first thing is, please, when this general election, people come asking for vote, ask them to give you solution to Delhi air pollution. That Delhi air pollution solution is recommended by Phuro Innovations. It is on our website. Download it and read.
Whenever we talk about global warming, even as a conversation with people I know who's working with me, they're not thinking about it, because when a government official is coming to their home and asking for vote and they're saying we will give you free energy, uske paise kuch bach rahe, and that money is allocated somewhere else, he signs and says, great, you solved my problem that I face today. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So we have a large segment of people who are not thinking this. And then we have another segment of people who are, they are not taking, I don't want to say advantage, but they're not seeing the future and investing in it, so that we all can be, sort of saved from the toxic air. So it's such a dilemma. Like people who cannot get out of their day-to-day life today, the present is more important than the future. They're not thinking this. And the people who should be thinking, who can replace the petrol to green hydrogen or really accelerate solar.
Yeah. See,
stuck
there was a
somewhere.
beautiful study by Harvard, one of the marketing professors, about, they suggested the government in America, how do they promote the use of vaccine? What was vaccine? It was an innovation during the COVID time.
Yeah.
Problem, solution. People were not ready to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
You saw hospitals empty.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You're dying. You don't want to take the vaccine.
Yeah, they were questioning the
Right?
after
And then Rohit Deshpande. This study is available. Rohit Deshpande's study on marketing the vaccine is how do you get people to think. That is such a beautiful study. And that's exactly what we are doing. How do you create people to, you're asking them to change. You're asking them to use something that they've never used before. So you have to build a communications strategy. We don't have a communication strategy right now. The industrialists are saying they put the money on the books, but nothing on the ground is happening. Very few industrialists, I can name them, Avada, Acme, who come to my mind fast, and some others have put in the money where the plant is, green ammonia production is happening, where the plant is undergoing. Bigger names, bigger names in the country haven't done anything so far. But they have the capacity to do it overnight, like we built the factories of mask. We did the factories of PPT kits. We did the factories overnight. But should we wait for that crisis?
Yeah.
Huh? Should we wait that we should run out of oxygen in the hospitals? And
The
that
sense of
should die?
urgency is still, far away.
So it's only the sense of urgency. What we need to do is build a communication strategy around this new thing, and people will accept it. And people will take. The second time around, people took vaccines. The third time around, they went to take the, what is it called? The booster.
Booster, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
From no vaccine to a booster.
And then 3 shots.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think it is about building hope. It is about giving the right path and the clarity to people. It is about building a communication strategy. And trust me, none of it is not possible. None of it is very comprehensive or something that will take so much time. You just put 10 good, right-thinking people, right-thinking minds together. It will be delivered. There are experts sitting on this. They made sure the whole world took vaccine. Nobody knows Deshpande created the marketing strategy behind it. Communications, not marketing, sorry for using the word, communication strategy around it. To make people aware of the danger that they pose to the entire world. Today, the danger is same. People are not taking carbon net zero neutrality